what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. I am DJ aka Token Black Guy. If you're new here for the first time, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe button. I truly appreciate it. So, watched episode 5 of Moonlight, titled Asylum. Um, this episode, I will have to say, this series this series as a whole, I've always said, um, I know nothing about the character Moon Knight, so each episode is like a new learning experience for me. And I will say this episode right here, it's probably my favorite episode so far, in the sense that I was not expecting to be um just emotionally invested in this episode as I thought I was. This episode hit on some key points for me personally in my life and past life that I've dealt with and are dealing with now. So it was kind of like just a big kick in the chest watching this show. But a quick recap of the episode: we left off last week when Mark and Steven were in the asylum, whatever, and they ran to the big hippo. Turns out the hippo is like this god of what I think it was women and children. But the episode starts off with we don't really know what part of the reality is real. Like, is he really in a insane asylum and he's having like these flashbacks? But Dr. Harmon, I think, uh has Mark, and it's mostly Mark's episode. He's going in and out the interview with the psychiatrist, Dr. Harmon, and back with Steven in the little Salem asylum where they, run to the hippo. Well, the hippo tells them that they're actually dead. So that kind of confirms what really happened where they got shot. And she's here to lead them into the Egyptian afterlife. I guess one is hell, their form of hell, and the other one is called the field of reeds, where it's like paradise. But in order to get there, they have to take this boat across this mystical sands and everything. And I will say, I think this is the first time that anything in the other Marvel in the MCU was actually mentioned in the show, because they made a comment with like, this is the afterlife, and the hippo goes, oh, one of many. The ancestral plane is very beautiful and everything, and as we know, the ancestral plane is from Black Panther, so there is the connection with the MCU, I guess you would say, in a sense. But that's the first time something outside of this show has mentioned something from a different movie or a show that I can remember. But anyway, so they have to get their heart measured against the feather of truth in order to be able to determine if they're going to hell or if they're going to paradise. So Hippo pulled out both of Stephen and Mark's heart, put on a scale, but for some reason the hearts aren't full, which leads us to Mark not telling Stephen everything. So back in they're in the Salem sound that they're in, each room is like a memory room, a certain memory, and Mark has to like open up to Steven. So Steven's like trying to go through all these rooms and everything, and finds out about him being a mercenary and killing so many people, and how he's holding that in his heart because one room has all the people that he ever killed, including his wife's father. But we find out he actually didn't kill him; he was trying to save them, and they all got murdered. And that's when I can't remember the Moonlight God, whatever, Toshu or whatever his name is, Koshu. I never remember his name. Uh, that's when he runs into Steven and tells him, I can give you life and save you if you be my warrior of truth and everything. And that's how the whole deal was made with them. So we learned that backstory. But the real backstory we learn is the trauma that Mark went through. Uh, so apparently, Mark had a son, slash Steven had a son, had a brother. Had a brother, a younger brother, who he was playing with in a cave, and his brother died. Uh, Sad part about this is his mom blamed him for killing her son and was like abusive to him and everything, and blaming him, and he held all that from a child and everything. And we come to find out that the reason that Steven is around is because Mark actually created him to not have to deal with the abuse that his mom was giving him. Um, not necessarily the abuse part of that episode, but the guilt issue that he had, and holding on to things that people say, oh, you shouldn't be guilty about, and all that stuff, but it was an accident or whatever, and that kind of stuff that hit home personally for personal reasons. So this episode was just emotional to me. I will say, Oscar Isaac, this is probably the best acting I've seen him do on this show. Like this episode alone should be a Emmy winning, because his acting is good from how he's playing Steven, he's playing Mark, the emotion that he's going through, and it's the heartache, and just it was such a good episode. But after that revelation that Steven found out that he's not the real one, he's the one that was created to deal with the abuse and take the abuse, so Mark won't have to deal with it. Steven comes to in front of the doctor, and doctors asked him questions and everything, and he was like, "I want to call my mom," but reality is that Mark also holding back that his mom died. So this whole time that we thought Steven was calling his mom been dead for months, and we learned that Mark tried to go to the funeral, and uh, dealing with that, the anger and guilt and resentment towards mom, and bringing back all those memories that he had to go through with that his childhood, that brought Steven back into the picture. So Steven's actually only been back around for like 2 months. And so and then Steven learns that his mom's actually dead, and that was just the heartache on that man's face was bad. But back to them on the ship, once all this is revealed to Steven, and Mark opens up, they're they go back, and it's and on a ship, and this is where Hippo says, "Oh, I'm sorry, your hearts weren't balanced. You're going to hell." And they start fighting the little sand zombies, but because Mark opened up about that, they're actually balanced for some reason, so they're safe. But oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. They fight him off. Steven falls into the sands and is basically in Egyptian hell now, and that is when the scale is balanced. So I don't know if that him getting rid of Steven balanced his heart because he dealt with the trauma or whatever, but he wakes up in paradise. But they're trying to get back to Osiris Gate so that they can get back to the real world and get what's her name to release the Moonlight God. I know I'm rambling on. I'm tired, and I just watched the show, so it's all like in my head, and like I said, it was emotional to me and everything. But it was a good episode. I'm not here to give you a in-depth, detailed recap and everything. I'm just here to give my personal thoughts on the episode. I thought it was a good episode. I'm actually enjoying the series. Like I said before, it's not the best series in the world, but it's a good show to watch. I'm enjoying it. So I'm learning from it. This episode just kind of hit me, you know, deep on personal reasons. That's why I liked it so much. But let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about it. I recommend going watching this episode. Especially if you ever had to deal with like some mental health stuff and everything. It's really, this show is really opening. Like it's not like directly in your face, but it's acknowledging some mental health stuff that people deal with, and I appreciate it for that. But yeah. Till next time, guys. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comments below, and I'll see you when I see you. Peace.